Ashley Lujares, Mango Tao. Ashley, please introduce yourself, what you do, and let's talk freedom.
So hi everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm Ashley Lujares. I am the chef, owner of Mango Tao. Mango Tao is basically an experience. I don't have a brick and mortar yet, but we're working on it. In the meantime, we're just doing pop ups. We're doing cooking classes, private parties, festivals, anything that could bring out and talk about Filipino community in Boston. I was also on featured on an episode of Chopped. Not to, I mean, I'm very proud of that accomplishment.
Yeah, you should be. That's a great feat to do.
I think
Yeah,
it's just important to like use my platform, and I feel like it's a sense of duty to, talk about Filipino culture here in Boston.
exactly. Yeah, you should be so proud of that. A lot of people know you from there, so yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing. Can you I'll kind of combine the questions. How about this? Like, how has that experience, along with what you already were on the path for entrepreneurship, created freedom for yourself? From what you had mentioned, it's created not freedom. Like, you're really busy these days.
But in a good way. Like I love every moment of it. Um, I meet a lot of people. Since I've started this whole pop up journey here in Boston, um, I feel like I've met a lot of area Filipinos and Filipinos I grew up with, and then Filipino transplants. So I feel like I'm a liaison between all those people. I'd be like, "Hey, you haven't heard about uh, this organization? They're having this festival coming up soon, and just follow me on Instagram." Like I just try to also hype up other Filipino organizations that I also believe in, so then people who are following me can see what everybody else is doing. I think it's really important to um, uplift each other and bring each other up and talk about um, you know our people and what's going on with us. And one of those things that really motivated me to stay on this is that I feel like I just want to bring community together and tell people how good our food is, and
Exactly.
also like inspire the youth. I
Hmm.
also did a panel at Northeastern Barcada, and also I like to motivate the young people and hey, this is like a cool thing to do. Like, let's keep on doing Filipino dancing and things like that. So I think as for freedom, I've worked in the restaurant industry for almost 20 years, and I got to that point where I'm just like, I feel like my food is so good, and
It is.
especially like there's always this weird thing with like the auntie saying like you're not authentic, but I'm trying to be authentic to me because I am Filipino American. So I like to incorporate Filipino and American cultures together. So it still has that spirit of Filipino, but has a little bit of an edge to it.
No, it's perfect. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
Right.
just gives me a sense of creativity, and that's my freedom.
Hmm.
I love it. I love it. Yes, absolutely. Creativity. You're saying all the right things, Ashley. Like, one of the things I wanted to say too is, Filipinos are very communal. So we love
Mhm.
eating, we love singing, we love getting together, right? And
Yeah,
it's really just, even right now, right? Where it's just an excuse to get together and have conversations, uplifting conversations. So really, really want to thank you for being here. I'm sure we'll have more questions for you in the second
Good
half.
one.
and thank you
So
for having me.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. All right, awesome. So I want to start off, and it's actually always the question that I always ask, and it's because I think it's a very important one, especially for someone who's looking to potentially get into the business of food, whether they want to get into the business of healthcare, or they want to get into the business of manufacturing products, right? You always want to know why that person got into that business. So I think it's important. I mean, Ashley, I know that you said you were in the restaurant business for 20 years, and that's why you're starting your own thing. But is there more to it than that? I guess, or maybe how did you get into the restaurant business as a whole? Maybe.
Okay. Much like Antoinette, I was all a combination of all three. Combo number three. I was frustrated. It was like the end of not the end. Towards the end of the pandemic, and I'm like, what am I doing here? I was like, I know I'm talented. I know what I've got. I believe in myself. So let's just do it.
Exactly.
I mean, it's scary, but you just gotta go for it. So I started because so my parents are very strict. We're very strict growing up, and they're like, I was watching cartoons, and they're like, my dad came up and he's like, why are you watching cartoons? Why don't you watch something that will benefit you as an adult? And I'm like, okay. So I put it on like Julia Child, and I was hooked.
Nice.
Yeah, it was like those she was on PBS. It was free. So I got hooked, and then also like every time my mom has a party, she's kind of a self-taught cook. She grew up with help, but once she got married, she moved here, and she's like, I'm on my own, and I don't want to eat that food. So she taught herself how to make all this food, and then it kind of I kind of inherited all those recipes and everything. And she's always like, when you're a kid, you're just peeling the lumpia wrappers, and then it's a way to bond, with your mom. So she's like, okay, so when you cook, make sure you make it look nice, because you eat with your eyes first. And I'm like, okay. So I still use that philosophy till this day, and also cooking is kind of a way to bring people together, and it's always a happy thought for me. And I love when people are happy and satisfied with the meals that they just had, and just I don't know, I just like happy people.
Yeah.
So I went. I actually did the whole college route. It wasn't for me, and I just was like, Mom, Dad, I just can't do this anymore. I need to move to New York City and just go for it. And that's what I did, and I never moved back.
I love it. And then obviously, winning Chopped must have just kind of felt like an amazing feeling. And you thinking back to when your dad told you to do something worthwhile, I'm sure that all came that all came rushing back, I imagine.
Yeah, when I was on the show, I mean, they've asked me several times in the past, but I couldn't do it because I had responsibilities in the restaurant. But I told myself, this has been my bucket list. I should do it. See, you never know until you do it. And I felt like, okay, if I'm going to be in this platform, how do I want to represent myself and my people? So basically, each section of the competition, I did something Filipino. I talked about, So the last dish was the dessert, was a riff on mango icebox cake. The girls were like, oh, so what are you gonna do for dessert? And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this riff on mango icebox cake. And she's like, I don't think you should do that. And I'm like,
watch me.
That's why I'm in the competition.
I love it.
I did it. I just told myself, don't change Thanksgiving. Just listen to what you feel is right. And then I just did that, and I won.
Is that where you got the name that you have, Mango Tao? Because of that, or
Mango Tao actually derives from my brother and I we were just hanging out, and we're like, I kind of miss those Filipino parties. What happened to those? The calls with the DJ and the buffets and all of these things. We're like, what happened to those parties? How come we don't have those anymore? We should have a party like that.
That's awesome.
So
It's
it started as an experience, like having a Filipino experience, and everyone's like, "Yeah, you're gonna cook, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna have a karaoke night, and we're gonna do this." And then Mango Tao is actually Mga Tao, but we're like,
oh, nice.
but we're like, people can't say Tao; they're gonna say Tao.
Yeah, true.
And then Philippines is known for mangoes,
Mango.
so like, Mango Tao.
The
Beautiful.
mangoes are better than the ones in Thailand. They said Thailand has the best mangoes. I've been there. No, it's the Philippines has better mangoes.
Love it. Love it.
I love it.
Thank you so much, Ashley. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, great. It's been really inspiring to hear like your stories and all these creative paths you took in your careers in the pursuit of freedom. But I also had a burning question about, oftentimes you're in spaces that they're amongst people that don't know a lot about the Filipino or Filipino American community. Do you feel pressure to represent a larger community? And if so, like, how do you navigate that?
I'm sure you represent the Filipinos and the Filipino food. Can you answer that, Dr. Tulusan's question? I think that's good. That's great. And obviously want to give you the opportunity as well.
Yeah. And so that's also right. I'm picking back up off a lot of the things that you're saying is as educating. I think in the Boston area, we do have a lot of Filipinos in this area, but they're all kind of segregated. They're like South Shore, Worcester, Boston, transplants. So like, I think like just even being like being influenced, being visual, or like your social media, me posting videos, like coming up with ideas, like what is Filipino food? Like some people don't even know what our food is. So just educating people, like what are we as a people, the food that we eat, just talking about it. Also, I do a lot of pop-ups that aren't also very Asian focused. I have an event coming up. I'm doing a pop-up for the mayor's office for immigrant advancement. So there's other types of people there, and like I also network with people outside the Filipino community, so then they know about me and they connect me to Filipino food and so on and so forth. And then once they come to my pop-ups, then they try my food and they're like, wow, I've never had this before. And it's just like a cycle, as long as you're consistent and you're always like talking about it, because everything's about repetition. So if you don't stop talking about it, then people are gonna hear you.
That's true. That's true.
Great.
Maraming salamat. Thank you so much. Make it a
Thank
great
you.
week. And we will see you again shortly.
Filipino, 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 Filipino.
Hoy pare, pakinggan mo ako. Ito na ang tunay na Filipino. Galing sa baryo sa